People said that this engine wouldn't quit. They said it couldn't be killed, and they said that if the apocalypse came and they needed a truck that could get through it, that it would have to be powered by this. What they were talking about was Ford's legendary 300 cubic inch inline 6, a tall deck cast iron workhorse that first showed up in 1965 and quickly became one of the most dependable engines ever built. For over 30 years, it powered everything from F-150s to airport tugs. And these engines generally outlived most of the companies that bought them for their fleet. They weren't flashy and they weren't high tech, but man oh man, could they take a beating. And by a beating, I mean hundreds of thousands of miles with ease where possible. Heck, there are even ones out there with over 500,000 miles on them that are still running good. Which begs the question, how did Ford manage to pull this off? Well, it all came down to the initial design of those 300s. When Ford set out to build this engine in the early 60s, they were trying to make headlines. They were trying to solve a practical problem. Their existing lineup of 6-cylinders, like the 223, just weren't going to be enough for the future generations of Ford trucks. So rather than just punching out the old motor further for more displacement, Ford's engineering team went back to the drawing board and redesigned their entire inline 6 architecture into something that would not only be thrown in trucks, but in basically any industrial application that Ford wanted. The result was the big block of inline 6s, this tall deck cast iron brute that had a long stroke and some serious over-engineering to it. This engine family debuted in 1965 with two versions, a 240 cubic inch variant and the now legendary 300 cubic inch variant. Both shared the same architecture, but there were some key differences. The 240 came with a 4-inch bore and a 3.18-inch stroke, while the 300 kept the same 4-inch bore but with a much longer 3.98-inch stroke. That long stroke helped give the 300 its trademark low-end grunt. Peak torque came in at around 2,000 RPM, which was perfect for hauling, towing, or just climbing a hill without breaking a sweat. But it wasn't just about the torque stats. It was about how the engine was built. The 300 featured 7 massive main bearings, one for each crank journal, which meant that the forged steel crankshaft was exceptionally well supported. This helped eliminate flex and helped with bearing longevity and reduced internal wear. Where other engines may start to show signs of fatigue at high mileage, the 300 could just keep on spinning. The block itself was a standard thick cast iron affair with big water jackets and rugged cylinder walls that could take years of heat cycles without cracking. Because again, Ford knew from the beginning that these engines were going to be worked hard. The valve train was a simple overhead valve pushrod design, much like pretty much every other American engine at the time. It used a single camshaft mounted low in the block that utilized lifters and push rods and the rocker arms to actuate the valves up top. Again, it was standard American fanfare. But where the 300 really set itself apart was how it drove that cam. Instead of using a timing chain like most engines did, these inline 6s used a set of timing gears, which was part of their secret to reliability. That type of gear drive system was about as mechanical as things could get. It was just the gears turning each other, which meant that there was no chain stretch to worry about and no timing chain tensioners or guides to fail. The timing gears in the 300s were helical gears that were made of some kind of synthetic composite material, and they were very robust. They generally outlast the rest of the truck even if you lived in a place that loved to salt the roads. You would think a synthetic kind of composite gear like this would be a recipe for disaster, but no, they worked really well in that stock application. Camshaft timing stayed accurate even after decades of use. These things just loved to run. This gear-driven setup though does come at one negative. It gave the engine a very specific mechanical kind of character, a faint whine at idle that became almost a calling card of the 300. It wasn't loud per se, but it was louder than you would have probably had with a similar timing chain equipped inline 6 motor. Early engines were topped with a single Autolite 1101 carburetor for simplicity and low maintenance. Later in the 70s and 80s, many got upgraded to a Holley or Autolite 2100 style 2-barrel carb depending on the application, adding a bit more power and response, especially for heavier duty configurations. And then later on into the 90s, fuel injection became available on these engines as well with the changing times. Regardless of the setup though, these were still all very reliable. Just about every part on this engine was chosen for reliability, durability, and ease of service. From a mechanical standpoint, the 300 was boring in all the right ways. You could find this engine literally everywhere. It was the go-to choice in a lot of the smaller Ford trucks for decades, including the F-150 and F-250s. It showed up in the E-Series vans, Broncos, grain trucks, industrial flatbeds, even tractors, forklifts, and heck, even UPS trucks had this motor. If a vehicle had a Ford badge on it and it needed to work in a fleet or industrial use for a living, odds are it was available with a 300 under the hood. Beyond just vehicles, Ford sold these engines as standalone industrial units too, used in air compressors, wood chippers, irrigation pumps, you name it. They were bolted to concrete in barns, buried under snow on construction sites, and these motors ran for hours and hours a day on equipment that never saw a day off. Now, that isn't to say that these motors did not require service or maintenance, because like any engine they did. But if they were serviced right, these engines could afford you with a lifetime of hard work. When Ford finally retired the 300 in 1996, they replaced it with the 4.2-liter Essex-based V6, which was a modern overhead valve engine with better fuel economy and cleaner emissions. But it never built the same following. It didn't have the same torque, the same reliability, or the same 3 decades of trust built behind it. It worked, sure, but it wasn't the 300. In the States, it was actually the last inline 6 ever offered in the Ford truck line, and over the course of its 31-year production run, the 300 more than earned its keep. It built job sites, it moved America, and in a lot of places, it's still doing that. So if there's an engine that deserves the title of most durable, most people will go ahead and just say the small block Ford, right? Your 302. But I think there is a very strong argument that the most durable engine Ford ever made was this humble, heavy, and unkillable 300 cubic inch inline 6. Because sometimes the best thing that an engine like this can do is nothing at all. No breakdowns, no drama, just mile after mile, hour after hour of getting the job done. And in that regard, the Ford 300 wasn't just durable, it was damn near immortal. But that concludes our look into the Ford 300 Inline 6. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you ever owned a truck with one of these motors in it, or had any experience with them in equipment or whatever have you, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear it. Otherwise, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one, enthusiasts.